Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. May Elise Cannon. It's Monday, the first of the week, July 21st, 2025. 654 days of war, violence, ongoing ethnic cleansing, and what many are saying is genocide of the Gaza Strip. 654 days since October 7th of 2023. Updates of the last 24 hours and some from the weekend. The World Central Kitchen charity yesterday announced that it halted the provisions of hot meals in Gaza after running out of supplies. With aid trucks stuck at the Gaza border, the charity will continue to bake bread and distribute water in the territory, its statement added. The Hamas is running the health ministry, and they said that 19 people, including 8 children, have died of the lack of food in Gaza just in the last 24 hours. 8 children dying of hunger. Hamas is presently facing its worst financial and administrative crisis in history, according to former and current IDF officers and sources directly from Gaza. The Washington Post reported that. And Iran's deputy foreign minister will meet with his British, French, and German counterparts in Istanbul for nuclear talks on Friday, according to an Iranian foreign ministry spokesperson. Israeli tanks and snipers killed at least 79 Palestinians and hundreds more were injured, with massive crowds of hungry civilians under gunfire. This was, according to reports, they were mobbing a UN convoy carrying aid into the territory, witnesses said. The health ministry in Gaza and the UN World Food Program reported about these deaths of 79 Palestinians at least. The IDF said it had a gathering of thousands of Gazans, that it fired warning shots to remove any immediate threat to the troops without identifying the nature of the threat. It also stated that the health ministry's death toll does not align with its information. Reports that we hear is that the health ministry's death tolls are conservative and that many, many more have been killed. The Israeli military yesterday issued evacuation orders for Deir al-Balah, stating that it's expanding its activities to target, quote, terrorist infrastructure in the area, which has not been a target of an Israeli ground offensive to date. According to Medical Aid for Palestinian groups, several humanitarian organizations' offices and clinics have also received evacuation orders. The UN warned that any damage to the humanitarian infrastructure in the area will have life-threatening consequences. Israel last week also declined to renew the visa of Jonathan Whitall, the head of the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. OSHA is the acronym. This is according to the UN. An OSHA spokesperson added that the refusal came immediately after remarks in a press briefing about starving people being killed while they are trying to reach food. The director of Israel's Mossad spy agency, his name's David Barnea, has visited Washington. He was here in DC last week. He sought U.S. help in convincing countries to take Palestinians from Gaza. Barnea told U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, that Israel has been speaking in particular with Ethiopia, Indonesia, and Libya as possible relocation, places for relocation of the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. I'll remind you that Churches Middle East Peace has put out numerous statements condemning that plan as ethnic cleansing. In Syria, for at least the time being, the clashes in south of Syria in Suwaida, the city of Suwaida, have stopped, according to the Syrian government. There is a ceasefire agreement between Damascus, Druze groups, and Bedouin tribes. It apparently is holding. An aid convoy from the Syrian Arab Red Crescent entered the province yesterday, and elsewhere, the Syrian Health Ministry said that it has been denied access. Syria and Israel have agreed to that ceasefire. They said that it was embraced also by Turkey, Jordan, and other neighboring countries. U.S. Ambassador to Turkey and Special Envoy to Syria, Tom Barak, said on Friday. The Syrian government misread how Israel would respond to the deployment of Syrian troops to Suwaida, encouraged by U.S. comments that Syria should be governed as a centralized state, Syrian officials said. Regional security sources and diplomats agreed. Israel's attacks took Syria by surprise, according to sources. In other news, the UAE informed the U.S. it had begun returning Afghan evacuees that were stuck in the UAE processing facility back to Afghanistan. This was days before Trump announced that he would help the evacuees yesterday. The State Department announced that over the weekend. The White House is growing alarmed at Israel Prime Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's regional policies. U.S. officials have reported a growing perception that Netanyahu is too disruptive following Israel's recent strikes on Syria, and then also the shelling of the Gaza Catholic Holy Family Church last week. It's unclear whether Trump shares his advisors' concerns about Israel's actions, but that's being reported, according to Axios. And be in prayer for the Churches for Middle East Peace team. There's many things happening. Some of our staff are at a gathering in the UK about Palestine. It's led by international indigenous leaders from different parts of the world, seeking to determine the most effective strategies globally for combating the current reality of war and oppression in the Gaza Strip, but in other parts of the occupied Palestinian territories as well. And also a week from tomorrow, CMEP will be hosting an event of American Christian organizational and denominational leaders. I'll tell you more about that in the days to come, but we would covet your prayers in that regard. Crisis Action also put out a report that I wanted to call your attention to, specifically about the ways that food has been used as a weapon of war. I'd encourage you to take a look at Crisis Action. They have really great reporting, and they did an opinion piece that came out recently in that regard. May God go before us as another week begins, 654 days of ongoing war and violence. Might peace come quickly. Don't give up in your efforts. If you want to get involved, take a look at our website. There's many opportunities and much work to be done. May peace come quickly in the name of Christ. Amen.